Yeah. Oh, they're off. Wow, that started
Wow.
quickly. No time to introduce ourselves. I'm Alpha 5. Joining me is Cravone. Cravone is very British. It's very important. But we have to talk to a bunch of people right now. In our fun little category of Link's Awakening, Warpless. Shield. Go find a sword. Have a good time. Cravone, you want to explain what the Warpless category is?
Do you?
Sure. So, due to our inability to pick any sort of out-of-bounds rules that sticks, because, well, this game is... I'm gonna use its, coded very specially.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, it's... Well, no, because the code all works, but there's a lot of unintended consequences in certain areas. Not from spaghetti code, but just because the Game Boy is hard. But, so Warpless just entails that, we don't take any wrong warps, which basically means that we can't transition while standing on a solid tile to another screen. We have to stay within the same system, like if there's a map that's part of Dungeon 8, which is relevant, we have to go into Dungeon 8. But meanwhile, starting off, they've got their sword. Our first minute 12 seconds of the run is done. Now we need rupees. We need 10 of them. And they're going to be doing a small trick, or hopefully, called rupee duping, which, when the rupee falls, if it hits the hitbox of your sword, shield, and Link at the same time, both of those hitboxes are active, so it'll count it twice, and that's important because rupees are hard, and as you can see, Marsupial's already taken a small lead, just because of better luck with rupees.
So they need the rupees for the powder.
Yeah, but why are they robbing the shop then?
Because I can.
Uh,
I love how so few people knew you could do this as a kid.
I looked it up. It was like, oh, you can rob the shop, and I'm like, I don't want to be permanently renamed thief, so I didn't do it. It's like, what if I need something from the shop when you only ever go in there, like, twice? I think it's a common theme in all Zelda games. Who buys things from a shop?
Well, we actually saw Marsupial buy the bombs for no money, and Flame is going to do that as well here.
Who buys things? That's what I'm saying.
Basically, the way he does that is he save and quits before any frame where he loses money happens. So therefore, he gets them for free.
Yeah.
It's actually quicker than taking a death from the shopkeeper, much quicker.
Oh, yeah.
Because every time you go back in, you get killed by the shopkeeper if you tell him.
Okay, so Marsupial completing the very hard trendy game, and one difference, actually, I'm noticing right now. So Finalflame is running on the 1.1 version of Link's Awakening. It prevents a soft lock in one area in exchange that could accidentally happen if you hold down a button. Or rather, a disqualification from the category, he'll wrong warp. In exchange for 0.5 seconds later in the game. So worth it. But we'll be talking about those later when they happen, because one's a neat trick and the other one is, oops. So first, I'm gonna call this major glitch in the run, because we haven't had any. We have bomb triggers. I won't call the rupee thing a major glitch, because I think everybody realized that kind of as a kid, because if you had 980 rupees draining from buying the bow and arrow...
You can just save and quit.
You say... Well, it's like... Or you died because you were, like, 6.
How many of us just died to do that?
Just walked out with a half a heart and died, and then, you know...
Attack a fox.
500 rupees.
So bomb triggers work by placing bombs on alternate frames whilst transitioning or using pits.
Yeah, both of the animations try to be loaded, but since there's only supposed to be one bomb exploding, it loads the next thing that's there. And that gets cutscenes to play that normally shouldn't. Fortunately, you can't open dungeons with it. That would be nice. You need the key for that. But, you know, neither one of us is being very good at switching audio, so I'm gonna switch to the person in the lead. As he is in the Dungeon 1. Fun place. Hitbox in this game are great.
You know, Dungeon 1 really isn't that spectacular, honestly.
No, it's. I mean, like what Marsupial almost got there was a really sick bump strat to get I don't know what they're called to get them into the hole. Kravon, do you know what they're called?
They are called spike beetles.
Spike beetles. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, to get the spike beetles into the hole. We picked up Rock's Feather now. Rock's Feather lets you jump, which means this is a good Zelda game. Zelda games that you cannot jump whenever you want to are bad. It's just a fact. So you know, A Link to the Past, Zelda 1, bad games.
You know, there are Zelda games where you don't even need an item to jump.
Yeah, I know. Breath of the Wild's a pretty good game.
Those are the best games.
And you can sort of jump in Ocarina of Time, but...
Oh, what did Marsupial just do?
I think it's called a super jump. Kravon, would you like to explain super jumps as Marsupial shows off why the bow is busted and why they wanted you to pay almost 1,000 rupees for it?
So, a super jump happens when you clip into a wall, and you basically you jump, and then at the top of your jump, you use the sword, the fire rod, the bow. There's one other, I think.
Just those.
Yeah. And the game thinks that you are in a cliff because you're in a solid tile, so it sort of gives you what a cliff jump would be, which is what the super jump is.
Yeah, and since you have no collision during that, you use it to go over things so you can skip a key in this dungeon. And oof, Finalflame accidentally wasting an arrow on Rolling Bones. That might be important. Probably not. Depends on, I guess, strats. Or, yeah, we have Moldorm. Moldorm's the first boss. If you fall into that pit and transition on the version of the game that Marsupial is playing, you'll wrong warp and your run is dead. That didn't happen. Finalflame would transition just back to the screen before, because they changed that warp. And all you have to do is hold the feather button when you fall in that pit. And here's some kids. We don't care what they have to say.
You know,
I like not caring about those kids.
considering how powerful the bow is in this game, I'd like to think the developers had a bit of a chuckle when they thought, imagine someone that goes into Dungeon 1 having bought the bow.
Yeah, probably. Hard piece of shame dodge. Nicely done. But it's like, the game is actually well coded for enemies, so if you enter places that you're not supposed to say have the fire rod, well, it still interacts properly, or magic rod, I guess. It still interacts with people correctly.
I mean, there are so many things that can be said about the fire rod in this game, and we'll see them a bit later, I think.
Yeah, well, we'll say them later.
Once,
It's the source of why this game is better for exactly one thing compared to LADX. But because of it, we get Jesus jumps.
Once they have the fire rod, this run really starts to heat up.
Alright, so... just someone get Kravon out of this chat, please. Meanwhile, flock clips. Text boxes are great, and they like to move Link around. And we can use them to clip through walls. And now here's the best part of the game, where Marsupial is losing a lot of time here.
Probably gonna lose his lead
eventually. There we go. I had a minute and 30 bow out eat once on stream. I just stopped my run and my stream for the rest of the day.
Usually, if it takes me more than 15 seconds, I just transition and try and... So transition in a way to manip bow wow. But then, people don't like doing that because you transition, but he could have eaten in the time you were transition.
Yeah, and he also might eat the fish on the screen that you transition to, and that's just the worst. So, Marsupial going out of the way to avoid this powder. He blew all of it earlier because we only need powder to open up those two pots, or to light the two torches at the start of D2 to get in. If they weren't there, we'd never get the powder. And it would make the start of this run a lot more fun. We wouldn't have to worry about rupee RNG.
So, I guess we'll see later why they don't want to have powder. But there's having powder locks you out of quite an interesting item, to say the least.
Yeah, so the bow. Bye, Hinox. Yeah, and let's see, Finalflame's trying to get that little... He's trying to clip into the block so he goes under it. If you don't do that, like, if you don't get a max clip, you're gonna hit that, and you just have to spend all your powder. So meanwhile, Marsupial has left Dungeon 2, hasn't completed it, but grabbed the Power Bracelet, which is what opens up the rest of the overworld. You only need... You need very few items to get everywhere in this game. Although, unfortunately, in this one, you do need the flippers. Or maybe fortunately, depending on who you're talking to. But he's running over here, past this inconspicuous keyhole to see that flashy thing. That's a warp. Just by entering the screen, we unlock it, and that's going to save us a bunch of time later. I think it's like 50 seconds. And now he's taking a minor detour as Finalflame does a little trick with ghosts, where as long as those ghosts leave the screen, well, they're dead.
Ooh.
And Power Bracelet spawns.
What is Finalflame doing?
He's going to the mushroom first.
Alright.
Yeah, you can do either one, it doesn't matter which.
I thought for some reason he had forgotten to open the warp for Dungeon 4.
I mean, that's also possible. But yeah, you can do this in either order. And the mushroom, has a bunch of interesting properties. Mainly, it opens a text box, which means, you know, Link gets to shuffle around. And, that's good! It's gonna let us do a trick coming up called Villa Skip, where, there's a guy named Richard, and he wants you to go into a castle that he was deposed from, and, get a bunch of golden leaves that he just, you know, he wanted, and then he'll let you into his yard to dig up his stuff. But we can just use a mushroom to, clip into the menu and transition. And we're in his backyard, and we find a leaf. It was there the whole time. And we just realized that Richard just wanted us to, you know, I guess, just oaf. And so, wanted to be a pain, so... Marsupial, and this is why I transitioned down and up, which, let's see if Marsupial does that. Okay, no. That's Villa Escape. If you transition onto a solid tile, again, the rule is transition from a solid tile, not onto. You just kind of zip until you have, it puts you in like a cliff fall state, and you just kind of zip until you can land. And it's very useful for getting out of places, or going to places. And now we're in Keyhole Cavern. Kervone, you want to talk about why this is the best dungeon of the game?
Because he's the bombs at the start.
Man, he got a really good second bomb.
Okay, so I'm guessing they're doing the same route as a different version that we know.
Yeah, why didn't I'm a little curious as to why Marsupial didn't spin slash the 4 Zols. Maybe he just forgot. But yeah, there's a lot of
it is a very technical dungeon.
Yeah, there's a lot of enemies. There's one trick that's just fun to do. But basically, so there's things that aren't. Oh, you got that early.
Yeah, piece of power.
Yeah, so piece of power. If you kill 30 enemies, it depends on how many hearts you have. With 4, it's 30. You get a piece of power. That it's gonna double his damage. It's going to increase his movement speed, and it's going to add a knockback and, like, slightly more end lag on when he hits enemies. But that movement speed is great. That gets reset every single time he save and quits or dies, or... and it's no good. And if you enter places... if you... No,
yeah, if he transitions out of the dungeon, he loses it.
Oh yeah, he'll lose it as Finalflame dies in the opening of D3. That's not the worst death in the world. Honestly, it's probably a little helpful, although he's gonna be behind on enemies, but again, there's so many that it's okay. But yeah, if he transitions, he'll lose it, so we can't keep it, and...
those bombs just...
Yeah, those bombs are being nasty. Fun fact about the Pegasus boots in 2D sections, if you run off an edge with them, you don't lose your jump. So you can just jump with the Pegasus boots whenever you want. And he did a trick you may have seen, because he's Marsupial's killing it. Like, he's going real hard. He hasn't like really messed up anything other than, you know, not having great luck to rupees. Doing a slightly different setup on this. I can respect that.
He's going too quick to actually cover any.
Finalflame's got to take a bunch of damage. Okay, and he gets the ICS. So he just saved 15 seconds. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the trick that.
Explain ICS.
Yeah, we'll do that after I explain what Finalflame is doing. So this is Dodongo skip. You do a super jump, you clank off of one of those Dodongos, you go over the wall, you skip needing a key. Marsupial's going so fast it's actually hard to keep up a little bit and talk about everything's going on. But yeah, ICS. If you pause on a certain frame and you open the save and quit menu, and then you get another frame that you can buffer your save and quit menu to, but you can save and quit out of the dungeon after it's added to your inventory and skip that entire cutscene, and it just saves a whole ton of time. But it's like frame rule dependent and garbage, so you just really hope you get all of them.
I mean, it's as close to RNG as you can get.
Bow Wow was RNG. Okay, so Marsupial actually getting. He wants to take a ton of damage. He wants to be exactly where he is right now.
Because the Death Warp is going to be quick.
Yeah, but we have Walrus skip. This is a place you can hard lock, or yeah, soft lock. He's going for an older setup where you do it from the top. If you do it from the side, it's faster. But, you know, it's just what you know. It's only a little bit faster to do it from the side, as Finalflame gets his flock clip. Fun fact, you soft lock if you transition up. And yeah, Finalflame not bothering to do the cool Pegasus Boots jump. You have, like, very little frames to make sure you do a ladder fall, so if you don't get it, sometimes I've wasted a bunch of time. But yeah, so Walrus skip. You need to transition in a way that you do a bomb trigger to wake up the Walrus. Do a bomb trigger to wake up the Walrus, and then you have to transition out of the screen after the rabbit is talked, but before, you know, he shows up. As Finalflame is having a horrible time in Dungeon 3 right now. Oof. And then, Cravone, you want to explain why they death warped?
Okay, so he death warped basically because he had... his menus were locked out, so he couldn't menu. And normally you have to enter some sort of entrance to get...
What is this? What is this?
What?
What is this?
What are we seeing on...
I've never seen this before!
I've never seen that boss before.
Okay. So I'm not really sure what happened. He just forgot to fire the second arrow, I guess.
We have honestly never seen that boss before.
Yeah, you'll see Finalflame do it. It's a really, really easy quick kill. His hitbox is in the sand when you enter the room, and you can just fire 2 arrows. You'll never even see his text box. The key will just show up.
I have never commentated a race.
Same. I
in
haven't.
This or LADX where we've actually seen him spawn.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen. I can't even think. Spice didn't even meme spawn Lambola when he was racing against a Matt. Oh my, that's a treat for everyone watching at home.
Do you reckon he did it on purpose?
I mean, yeah, let's just say he did it on purpose. So here's a shack jump. Never mind.
That's not a shack jump.
That's not a shack jump.
Jumping into the pit.
Okay, so he clipped into the wall, so it wasn't quite a shack jump.
Shack jumps are such an old trick.
Yeah, so
those have been around for years.
Yeah, and they're special super jumps that require you to be up against certain items in the game. Those squares, blocks that you see on Marsupial screen, those also work. And I think a wall at the same time. We're gonna see one later because it's required unless you're Dragon C0. Cravone, fun fact, he fought Blano.
What?
He fought Blano yesterday.
What?
He also almost got level 3
Did he win
bracelet.
the race?
Oh yeah, he also almost got a level 3 bracelet. It was his second time ever running the category.
Wait, how did he get a level 3 bracelet?
Because he already had the level 2. You know how the bracelet levels work. You've played Rando and gotten them in the hyper.
I'm not sure how he managed to do that.
No, he almost did. He didn't. How could you forget? Okay, so here's Cue Ball. Cravone, tell us why Cue Ball is the best boss.
Why
I
do you
know
always
how much
put
you
this
love-
on me?
Because I know how much you love Cue Ball. I've played your ROM hack.
I'll tell you exactly why he's the best boss, because I always manage to get it wrong, so he's calling me out on it.
Okay, so
No,
hang on.
it's
So
really
Finalflame
simple.
is gonna do this room correctly. I'm 100% certain of it. And as he shoots a bunch of... Okay,
No, he hit Bow Wow.
okay.
Okay,
Bow
okay,
Wow,
that's
what the hell?
that is
Okay,
the
so-
developer intended way of doing that room.
Yeah, that's
It isn't, but
how that's supposed to look. As here's a cool P-hat clank. I wonder if Finalflame knows the hype P-hat clank. That Sagus and Flack do.
Ooh, nice chest turn.
Nice
I
one.
appreciate the chest turn.
Oh,
It
right.
takes no
just-
time, but it just looks cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's frame perfect, right?
Yeah, well, it saves 1 frame if you do it to the left, and no frames if you do it to the
Okay.
right.
He doesn't skip the text on Anglerfish, but that's the hardest boss in the game. Ask Cravone.
You see, the reason why it's not hard here is because they don't have the hook shot to distract them. Okay,
And
so
does
this
he get a
is
second
the...
ICS? Okay, so that was an actual shack jump, I think. Yeah, he got a second ICS, so there's more time. That's 2 of 7 so far.
So that's a very important ICS.
I'm
Did-
almost
did they
wondering
even
why he's
form the
doing
ghost?
this. I'm wondering why Marsupial did that. I mean, it is faster, but like, if you didn't like get the jump immediately, I think just going forward is better than menuing. The menu in this game is super fast, and great. But so we've beaten
You
D4.
can't buff with it.
We've beaten D4, and since Marsupial got the ICS, he doesn't have to worry about the ghost. But that's not really important, because we're gonna do something else. There's a ghost that spawns. You gotta do a quest for it.
Oh,
It
is
sucks.
he going to? Is he going to a particular skip that we all know
Yeah,
and love?
yeah. First, just skip. Finalflame not doing dumb jump number 1. That's what that room is called. And just blows up the block. And he really wants those hearts, I guess, just because he's not been having a great run today. As yeah, just give up, man. Get the fairy from Cue Ball.
It's just that's just wasting too much time to do that.
Yeah.
Especially if you have to try again.
Yeah, it's one of those things. So he's dead in a hit from Cue Ball, which isn't great. Let's see. He's waiting. You can get Cue Ball in the top left-hand corner.
And he's playing cautiously.
And there's the death. That's unfortunate.
Ooh,
Yeah.
unlucky.
So Rooster skip. If you accidentally hold left here, it sucks.
Oh, how is this
Jump
allowed?
back. Yeah, I don't think that he knows that you can just do a regular hop off that ledge and you'll be clipped in if you just do the hop and hold right.
That disappoints me. How is that allowed, but we can't do it?
Because someone listened to Seabass, and that's why we can't do that in any other game. There are like 10 categories for LADX, just because we can't decide on proper out-of-bounds rules.
And none
Ever.
of them allow that rooster skip.
No, they did. No Stew does.
I would.
No Stew was made because of that.
I'm gonna learn that route.
It's okay. P-Dog is making it worse by figuring out how to skip like every dungeon boss. You can skip Slime Eye by doing a shield bonk off of one of those stupid bird things. And so here's the mushroom, and there's another Villa skip thing. He has to open the save and quit menu there, because when you're in Ledgefall, that gives you control of Link when you open that save and quit menu. And if he doesn't, he'll fall into the pit, respawn, and be stuck in the wall, and he's soft locked, so he has to save and quit and reset. So Bow Wow's a pretty cool thing. And cutscenes are sprites. Bye, cutscene.
I thought cutscenes were food.
Maybe cutscenes are instruments. Okay, so Marsupial's gonna lose this race because he just put sword on B. Like a heathen. Has Eagle's Tower, the most broken dungeon of the game. In terms of glitches, by far.
Oh, there's a cameo by Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby's in this game.
Literally for half a second.
I mean, yeah, we haven't been talking about, oh wait, hang on, have we seen any? No, we haven't seen any of the other,
No, we haven't.
There'll be one soon.
Well, Terran's Mario.
Oh yeah, Terran is Mario. Okay, I'm a little upset that after not getting the transition trigger, he didn't do the swag bomb trigger, which is so cool.
So
If you put that
make
bomb
a super
down
jump
and,
there.
on that alternating frame, you drop it in the pit, you set off the bomb trigger while it blows up the wall. It's really cool. It's slower than getting the transition trigger, but, you know, it's cool. But, yeah, we used bombs to knock down all these pillars, skipping basically the entire dungeon.
So in this dungeon, you're meant, well, by design, you're meant to use the ball that's in the dungeon. We don't even see the room that the ball's in, all dungeon.
So here's some Goombas, and here's where Finalflame can come back. Never mind. That's Goomba Surf. If you bounce off anything, which is really only Goombas because they're coded that way. Oh, also here's the Grim Creeper riding on Evil Eagle, and then also the Grim Creeper. This is a fun little visual glitch that happens when you do that save and quit. And now we have Evil Eagle. As you can see, this is a very hard boss.
So this is just all about timing with the bomb throws.
Yeah. And he skipped both of the text triggers. That's pretty sick. I don't think I've ever actually seen someone get both. And, oh, he sort of gets it. The entrance for that room extends all the way up. I think he got it. Yeah, he did. That's 3 of 7. And I hope you're used to the number of hearts we have right now, because that's not changing anymore. I mean, it fills out the whole row, so that's all of them, right, Cravone?
Well, I don't see space for other hearts.
Yeah, I don't. And
I mean, at least
doesn't
as a
go
kid,
swimming.
I never got more hearts than that.
Yeah, he didn't go swimming. That saving quit trick helping out. And getting a little bit ahead of himself. Wait.
Why did he pick bombs?
I think he just had a massive brain fart there. Like, bombs are mushrooms. These are the same thing. Hi, Marin. Okay,
Well,
skips her text. You can skip a ton of text in this with just the save and quit menu.
We were saying we haven't seen any mistakes in him. I think that can be considered a
Oh,
mistake.
he's made a couple. Like, when I was talking earlier, he hadn't been making any, but he's flying right now. He's having a really good run. And this is the worst jump in the game. Mostly because this part... It's worse in categories that don't have mushrooms, which I think only exist in stupid things that the both of us do.
Trying to do that in Randu is fun.
Yeah. LADX is pip buffering because of a glitch that they needed to fix that's going to be displayed pretty much immediately once we enter this next dungeon. Or, well, once we get the item in this next dungeon.
Well, once we get the item in this next dungeon,
The game is
everything
over.
starts to fall apart.
Yeah,
Things break. Bosses despawn.
Yeah, we're halfway through the dungeons, and like and this run only has about 10 more or 20 more minutes in it, maybe. At Marsupial's rate, it might be like 15. No, that's I don't know what's the record in this. It's a 43 something.
I can have a look.
I think Black has a 43 something.
Vlad just has the record in everything.
If Black versus Seisei later this week, that's gonna be a real hype run. They're both crazy good at this game.
43-35
Yeah.
for Vlad.
Okay, interesting. Marsupial opens that a little bit early. Okay, I think he mucked with his menuing. I'm not a big fan of how many arrows he has. So sideways block pushing. As long as you kind of get yourself lined up in there. There's a window where you can do that. So he's got 10 arrows. He needs 16 by the end of the run. That's very important. Oh, you know what? I guess it does save... It saves the menu if you do that, but I don't think the transition makes it save any time. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually do what Marsupial just did. So remember when I was talking about shack jumps? There's a shack jump. We're gonna skip that mini-boss that's down there. It's pretty good. We got
What,
the
you mean
fire
the
up.
mini-boss at Dragon Fort?
Yeah. Dragon also fell after D7 into the water, so... And I haven't been paying attention to Finalflame. It looks like he died, I guess. Yo, I'm digging... that's a shame. That's cold.
No Burles.
I'm digging his D8, like, just having boots on strats. So, yeah, so...
Wow, there's so much lag that despawned the boss.
Yeah, so... The Magic Rod does a lot of things. That was an interesting... I like how he almost fell into that pit. I also don't think I've ever seen anybody do this Hamiltonian path this way. I like it.
Okay, so let's explain what happened with that fire.
Hang on, but first we gotta go somewhere. This is not... We didn't transition from a solid tile, so that's not out of bounds. And that's inside of D8. We promise it's not out of bounds, and inside of there is a chest that just happens to have the level 2 bracelet. It's definitely not just reading the wrong spot in memory. I promise. It's fine.
Okay, I now see how Dragon almost got the level 3 bracelet.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because the first thing he did was start dropping bombs in D6, where I don't know if Marsupial's going to D6 first. I think it's preference. I don't think any one of them is faster than the other.
Okay, so let's explain the fire rod a bit.
Yeah.
So, this game, okay, I'm gonna sort of get a bit technical with sprite. So this game has a limit of 16 sprites, if I recall correctly. Some are saved for Link, and then there are others for enemies and projectiles. The fire rod is worth quite a lot of sprites, and if you transition at sort of the frame where there's the most fire rod sprites, you can actually despawn sprites on the next screen.
Yeah, when you open up that menu, it keeps playing the fire rod sound effect, and it causes lag, which Bow Wow is 5 sprites, and that's why Armos Maze looks so terrible. You're not supposed to have Bow Wow. Armos Maze is still laggy normally, but, like, it's not this bad. But basically, the fire rod spawns a lot of sounds. Sounds are sprites. Cannot create more units, and then, you know, nothing's on the next screen, and half the screens in this game are coded. Hey, if there's nothing on the screen, Link has completed the goal, spawn a chest, or open the door. Which makes this save a lot of time. There's a couple exceptions to that.
It's quite interesting when this is done with dungeon bosses.
I'm digging this. I'm digging this. I'm digging this so much. This is so good. This probably saves so much time because of lag!
I mean, taking one sort of bit of lag to not have lag is genius.
I don't think I've seen anybody do this, but I feel like it... to me,
I think it saves
faster.
time.
If you do it, especially on that last screen, you despawn it, that Armos is gone, so yeah, that's sick. Got all these
Warlock's
fun
just
strats
telling
today.
us that deloading is slower in the Armos Maze.
Well, shut up. I like it more. It's so much better. The Armos Maze sucks. I can't imagine it's much slower. And it's definitely safer. You won't take any damage that way. And Armos do a lot of damage. They do 2 hearts.
So Final's having some trouble with this difficult jump.
Yeah, this jump is terrible. He can save
You
it
have-
from there. You can
You
totally
have
save
to
it from
really, you have to really get to sort of the right tile for this to
there. Yeah,
work.
he has to open up the save and quit and buffer mushroom out of menu, and he doesn't buffer the mushroom. Okay, so bombs and moves the cutscene trigger. Final's having a real hard time here. You're supposed to have the hook shot to get over this. So despawning rooms Goodbye, annoying tile room. But yeah, they had to change how the menu worked in the remake to patch out these fire rod despawning, which, in exchange, brought up a whole bunch of other dumb things that we can do.
Oh no, Fun almost got it.
Yeah, he almost got it, but doesn't quite get the buffers out. And Bow Wow is just chilling over there. Okay.
See, Bow Wow can go on hits.
Yeah.
So, you know, despawning isn't the only thing that Fire Rod can do. The Fire Rod can actually be used for super jumps. There's no reason to ever take it off.
Well, it does have a smaller frame window. Finalflame makes it across. Congratulations. It does have a smaller despawn window than the sword, or the super jump window. So things that are sprites are the stone tablets that give you hints, and there's conveniently one in the way here to a perfectly well-guarded ledge that lets us skip a very large amount of this dungeon.
They never thought of putting a wall behind it.
I mean, why would they? Who despawns things with a fire rod?
Fair point.
And you're not even supposed to have the fire rod yet. You're supposed to do all these things. Get the hook shot to make a couple of these jumps, as unfortunately Finalflame misses flame skip. He has to get a perfect flame skip or he dies and can't do it. Okay, he makes it. No, oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, he's still 3 out of 7. He's 3 for 4 in attempts.
That was a very quick boss.
It wasn't there.
Marsupial.
I mean, it's facade. He just didn't feel like waking up out of the floor that day.
Maybe it was still in one of the Oracle dungeons.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
later in the timeline.
Or
is it sooner? I don't know.
It's earlier.
This is the timeline
before
where
LA.
Seasons Link died, so Facade's still there.
The Oracles are, in terms of the canon, before LA, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, so this is just the timeline where, you know, Seasons Link just, you know, Holodrum, like, nah, this ain't worth saving.
Well, it's quite interesting that they set a ROM hack as a prequel to the actual game.
So Marsupial's not jumping up against the ceiling there. It saves time, like 1 frame per jump. So let's see what he does. Okay, so he's gonna despawn this next room. Some people do, some people don't. I think if you get that room perfectly, it's faster, but you're not getting it perfectly, so just despawn it.
It's RNG as well, because if the Helmasaur goes in the wrong direction, you're not going to get it with one spin slash.
I'm learning all these fun boots things today from Marsupial. He boots jumped over the part that Finalflame is on as he heads towards his Blando skip. He just used the boots to run across those platforms. And the menu in this one is so fast, so he's gonna try and despawn, or maybe not despawn this room. Doesn't, yeah, that's faster. There's a guy in here we don't want to see, so he's despawned.
Wait, there's a guy in there?
Yeah.
I don't see him.
Yeah, he got stuck in the ceiling, probably. Happens occasionally when you put a bunch of fire everywhere, he just didn't want to come down. I'm not.
Well, when you drop from the ceiling, sometimes the hole's just, like, too small to drop from, and you get stuck.
Yeah, I mean, look, he looked down, like, why is the whole room on fire? I'm out. So here's a dumb jump, and he realizes he didn't get it, so he used the mushroom to save that. It's a good backup. And we're almost done with Dungeon 5, the worst dungeon in the game.
You know, these bosses react in the same way that I do when I meet lag in a video game. Just rage quit. That's what these bosses are doing. They're just rage quitting. But of course, he has to re-despawn that because he didn't actually kill the mini-boss. He just despawned him. So, the game thinks
if you kill the mini-boss,
the guy's
he's still there.
alive.
If you kill him, he comes back.
Well, after you despawn him.
No, if you shoot him with enough bomb arrows, he dies. Okay, so he's not going for the fun no stew strats, where you can just super jump over that. I don't think it's any faster. And bye, boss we never want to see, as he's going for... I think he gets it. Yep. Gets another ICS. It's so much time saved.
So those
And,
cutscenes actually take quite a while.
Yeah. So he has, like, 2 seconds left in D8, because the boss is right there. He's got half a second left to D2. And then he's onto the egg. This is a crazy good run for Marsupial. Running past the Moblin Maze, running past the jumping Octoroks.
Can Marsupial finish in 7 minutes?
I think so.
Because that would be his PB. Oh, that's just Taran randomly there.
Yeah.
You know, the best thing about these speedruns...
What's a honeycomb that you can trade for a pineapple?
Oh, wow.
You told me to say pineapple.
I told him to say pineapple at some point before the stream.
So here's the end of D8. Okay, that's fine.
I love how anyone that's not played this game, that's just watching a speedrun, would have absolutely no idea what's actually happening in the story.
Yeah.
You just randomly see Taran standing there. No
doesn't
idea
get
why.
it. He's 4 for 6 in attempts. It's still really good. Get to hear the good drum solo though. I don't think he'll PB off of this. Cause what's a good split for the egg?
I mean, with the cutscene, maybe like 4:30, 5 minutes. Maybe a little less.
And is that counting enter egg with the song and all that?
Yeah, that's including opening the egg.
Yeah, that's about what I was thinking. I'm like, he usually takes like 6 minutes in other categories after doing certain things. And we're gonna see the final cameo of the run. We skip Luigi, but here's Piranha Plant. I'm digging it.
I can think of a few speedruns that aren't spoiler free.
Yeah, RPG
I mean,
runs are usually
there's sort of a bit of an elephant. No, not an elephant. There's sort of one that really sticks out, as you can't avoid it because you can't skip cutscenes in that particular Final Fantasy.
Alright, so here's a boss that doesn't exist also. So what did you say that his PB was?
Can tell you exactly, it is a 48:37.
A 48:37. Okay, I was just like, if he got that ICS, I think I thought you said it was a 47. Like, he might have been able to get it, but I think it's gonna be close. It's gonna be really close.
He's gonna need some good RNG.
Well, there are manips. Courtesy of...
Not for Deathor.
Not for Deathel, no. We're despawning an owl here. I think everybody talked to the owl yesterday. There was a race earlier in this tournament where someone missed the bomb trigger on this about 3 or 4 times, so they had to keep re-despawning the owl. So if you're worried about getting that bomb trigger, you know, maybe listening to him talk for 2 seconds is worth it. As Finalflame is moving on through D6. Did he do D5? I don't think so. Maybe he did. I missed it. It's hard to tell because there's no indication of progress anymore. You just get the fire rod and win the game.
Best thing is that there's no hook shot
Yeah.
in this game.
Don't worry, chat. We'll be nice and quiet when Finalflame gets to the Anthem of Conolette Island. It's too early to be worshipping anthems.
Well, why do you think I was quiet?
Because you're Pavone. Oh, that was... Why did he save and quit there?
What, Finalflame?
No. Oh, I know why. Okay, so in the event that he messes up, he's gonna just reset rather than saving and quitting. So that's a safety measure. So the first phase of the final boss, you need powder for. And this bomb trigger sucks to get. Okay, he got that. And he's doing the manip. He pauses, he equips sword, goes there, and I think he has it. And yeah, he has it. That's 100% consistent. So he's doing the manip. We have a phone app that tells you how Aghanim works. Because if you get that bomb trigger, we know exactly what the frame rule is. And the first two balls are always going to be good. And now he's going to know, based on where Aghanim is, where he has to stand so that he'll fire the right colored ball. Which, he messed it up, so it's over. I think he was maybe... It's literally pixels off, like it's an even or odd thing. That's 2 blue balls.
We're being corrected on something.
What are we being corrected on?
It's not the fire rod. It's the magic rod.
Nah.
It doesn't shoot fire, it shoots magic.
I I always love that quick kill. When you do it with the boots and the shovel. Just dashing it again in a bunch. And Lemola, and now we are on to Deathel. It is very possible for Marsupial to PB off of this. All Deathel needs to do is open his eye, and we have no way of dealing with this.
Marsupial just has to not die, really. And he should get...
Or, you know, Deathel does this
Well,
forever.
yeah, I mean, this is kind of trolly already.
Okay, he's gotten 3 of the 16 required hits. 7. Oh yeah, and the bomb trigger ruins all the music, which makes me sad. Okay, he should PB off of this.
Yep, that's the PB for him.
Yeah. Time isn't yet. Even when you hit the staircase. It doesn't skip the text. It's when you go and fade out, and that's time. That's a good PB for him. 4808. That was a good run. And as you can see, Finalflame despawning that Stalfos room. If you get the patterns that Marsupial had, it's definitely faster to just spin slash it.
I have to say, Marsupial throughout this run got quite a lot of good RNG, but
yeah, I don't know where he
his
lost.
gameplay was very solid as well.
Yeah, I don't know where he lost a bunch of time.
Honestly, the final boss, really.
He lost time on the final boss. He lost time.
Was slow. Aghanim was slow.
He lost time in some weird places. It's just like how crazy of a
On
run
the-
is Max.
On the bridge in Telltale Heights.
Yeah.
Lost a few seconds there. And a bomb.
Lost. Yeah, he had the mushroom there. And I guess he despawned. A really solid run. His Finalflame is coming up to skip a bunch of more things. Has 19 arrows. Didn't see if he has the Thunder Drum. And that's important, because there is an alternate route in this game that some people take if they don't want to learn the blob quick kill manip because it's stupid. It's 30 seconds slower, but it's guaranteed. And if like you drop the manip, or you just don't get blob quick kill because you missed the bomb trigger, you will make up any of the time that you would have lost getting skipping or getting blob quick kill and skipping powder. So It is an option, but since it's become significantly more consistent than when this tournament started. But
So I'm guessing that in the later version DX, they actually added in the mushroom being able to kill the blob.
yeah, they did. 'Cause they're just like, oh, this feels bad for people.
That strikes me as sort of a weird addition to me. Although I guess there have been other Zelda games in the past where they've just added weird items to make a difference on the boss, like bottles or fishing rods.
I mean, like, okay, yes. I mean, a big thing about it is, like, feels bad if someone goes into the boss with an item that they may have just, spent all of, and not have either one. Or they just had the mushroom for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's not like they could change the final boss to have fairies that drop powder at you. That'd be silly.
I mean...
Who would put fairies that drop powder at you in a video game?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the color dungeon in LEDX... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that was the
that's a secret.
That's a secret to everyone. Okay, so... I'll figure out whether or not Finalflame has done Dungeon 8 based on his pathing here. If he enters the warp... Okay, he has completed, or maybe, I don't know yet. Okay, he had not completed Dungeon 8. It looked like it. It looked like he was gonna go up to, the witch's hut.
I wonder if you could do Dungeon 8 featherless in LA.
I know you can in LADX because Dragon is silly. What's the glitch that would prevent you from doing it in LA?
Jesus jumping.
But you wouldn't have Feather to begin with.
Yeah, that's the point.
What? It's like you can do the dungeon featherless, but you can't do Jesus jumping. Having Jesus jumping...
didn't even think of that.
I'm assuming you can, unless it's like a lava swim thing, which you can't do in this version of the game.
Well, you can't do lava swim without the feather anyway.
Well, it's like maybe if you fall and transition at a weird point. But I don't think there's a place that lets you do that. We need in this game.
The credits are fun.
Yeah, unfortunately the streams aren't at 60 frames per second, so you can't really see them because of, old technology and transparency. PCA... yeah, special thanks too.
We'll try and work out what they each say.
Well, that
That's
one's the producer,
producer.
Shigeru Miyamoto.
But...
Executive producer...
No, don't know. Didn't get it.
Alright.
Oh,
So,
someone had to mention the remake.
What about the remake?
Someone had to mention the remake in chat.
Yeah, LA remake in September. Probably not going to be able to do any of this, but Grezzo's making it, and they like to code in bugs for, like, old people to have fun with.
I'm gonna be playing it.
I am too.
Like, take my money.
I have that collector's edition already ordered. I want my art book. Alright, now is a good time to listen to the happy songs of... Happy
Imagine
Anthem.
if you could despawn the egg opening cutscene.
Just despawn the egg, end the game. Like,
Just
right after fire
despawn
off.
the egg.
Despawn Deathel, game's over. Time to shut up. Let's listen to the national anthem of Conolid Island.
What's Canada Island?
Conolid Island. Yeah,
Canada Island.
Conolid Island.
And what, the castle mayor is Caholan Castle, is it?
Yeah, go home, Castle. Yeah. It's the best place in the game. See, I said it before anybody you could complain about it. Because you had to shut up.
I did.
Oh, Finalflame almost going the wrong way. It's always the same way as long as you don't read the book in the library. Left, left, up, right, up, left, up. And let's see if he gets the Von Trigger. He does. Okay, he's doing a little bit of a different setup. Gets it. Very well done. And we'll see if he gets... He starts moving into, like, weird places. That's how we know that he has the Agam in it. Yeah, as you can see, he's, like, shuffling pixels about, so he's definitely doing the Agam in it. Oof, I was a little concerned that wasn't gonna hit. So, Moldorm quick kill again. You can hit him until he dies. Like 255 slashes, but I think that just breaks the game. Pravone. Have I lost Pravone?
No, you haven't lost me.
Oh yeah. Does it break the game? Do you kill Moldorm?
I think you... I don't think it breaks the game as such. It just
like
kills Moldorm.
Yeah, it kills the boss and nothing else spawns, I think.
Yeah. I've not actually ever done it personally.
It's like there's a similar glitch on Hothead that exists, which people have gone for, like, because they can figure out how to do it. You have to kill him on a certain pixel, and then he just has, like, infinite health.
Yeah, but people have gone... Why have people started going for it?
Oh, it was to meet races. You know, you accidentally wrong warp in D7, so you do that because you're already losing to Node. As Finalflame will be getting a sub-hour time, very respectable.
Just thinking, who discovered that thing with the D8 boss?
And that's time for Finalflame at 58:18. I don't know what Finalflame's PP is.
I'll have a look. That is not a PB for Finalflame.
Okay.
His PB was 54 minutes.
Still a good time. Sub-hour. Yeah. Oh, we forgot to do this. As they are both done. I don't know if we're going to have either of them for an interview. Talk about the run.
Marsupial won't be able to join for an interview.
Okay, Marsupial will not be able to join. It's just waiting for Finalflame. Finalflame will
okay, we'll get...
joining us right now is Finalflame. How do you feel about that run?
So that just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Not
you
one
do
of the
7?
cleaner
I missed
runs.
that.
I was very tilted partway through the run with deaths on soft locks and oh god.
Oh, where did you soft lock in D3?
No, I soft locked in D7. And I knew at the moment I started a super jump, I went, I'm not far enough over. This is going to soft lock.
I think we both completely missed that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I soft locked in D7 right after the 4th pillar.
Yeah, okay, that's what happened there.
Alright, okay.
I looked away for half a second, and then you were down at the bottom. I'm like, did you run into the Hinox and die?
No,
We thought you had died.
I usually, when I do the last spawn trigger and I push the block over, I usually re-clip myself into the wall. And this time I'm like, I don't need to do that. And I was an idiot not far enough over to the left. And the moment I jumped, I knew I'm lined up dead center. This isn't going to do anything.
Sometimes you can boots out of that, and sometimes you can sideways block push it, but not sure.
I don't know if I could have sideways block pushed. I actually did try to boots, even though I knew it wouldn't work. Just to say I tried.
Mm-hmm.
But on a positive note, I learned Agamanip like an hour and a half ago.
Well. That went pretty well. I think maybe Marsupial was going for it and then messed something up and didn't get it, but...
I figured that was the one main improvement I was going for this run. So I'm trying to add little things here and there, even if it's just text skips or better menuing. But that was the big one, and it worked out.
Marsupial had a bunch of fancy boot strats. Just using boots everywhere.
Yeah, my boot strats involve bonk, bonk, bonk.
Yeah, but you got a couple ICSs. That's good.
Yeah,
always good to see.
It could have been a bit worse. I appeared to have gotten some gold splits, but overall the run wasn't too great.
Yeah.
But it's something, it's improvement.
If you gold split D4, you definitely saved a lot of time.
D4, no way. I died at cue ball.
Yeah, I know. that was why.
God, that was... Normally I grab that heart pickup in that one room, and somehow I could not seem to get over there, and so I figured, well, I'll just get through cue ball, get the fairy. I won't die to cue ball. And then I died to cue ball.
Yeah, you unfortunately just were short of that spin slash.
Between that, the death at the beginning of D3, and I realized, well, no point in going for Piece of Power now.
Yeah, that was
I think the worst thing about that kind of thing is when you try that hard to get heart and you don't manage to get it and you're like, oh, I give up on it. You just know. You know in the back of your mind that you're probably going to die without it.
Yeah, you had like
sinking feeling.
The entire
like,
time, I'm thinking, I'm going to die, and this is going to be an embarrassment. And sure enough.
It's fine. Marsupial had a really like clean and a bit interesting run.
Yeah, he didn't really put a foot wrong, except for he placed one bomb when it was falling.
Yeah, he sure did just jump across the bridge to D7, drop a bomb, and fall straight in.
Nice.
I think he assumed he had a different item equipped at the time.
Oh, yeah, I got absolutely crushed. I knew that would happen going in, but I was hoping with Agamanip and a couple other things, maybe I wouldn't do too bad, get close to my PB, and then, 10 minutes into the run, it's, well, this ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, that happens. You start off that run, you're like 4 minutes ahead of where you want to be, and then you lose 5 minutes, and you just feel the worst.
I think, considering this is my 4th completed run of this gaming category, I guess that's not too bad.
I mean, you don't have the same, explosive improvement that Dragon does, and you didn't try to go get a level 3 bracelet.
I considered it when I went into D6. I honestly thought about it. I'm like, well, I know I'm already doing horrible. I could just do it for the heck of it.
Yeah, it is fun. It doesn't help, but it's fun.
Give y'all some more entertainment.
Yeah. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff all around. Still sub-hour.
Yeah. And at the very least, I still won a match in the tournament with 1 week to go, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's gonna do it for us here. Pravone, any thoughts?
Not really. None that haven't already been said.
Okay. Any final thoughts? Finalflame?
I really have a lot of work to do on this.
Yeah. Well, okay. So coming up on speed gaming, there's Final Fantasy, and ongoing right now on Speed Gaming 3 is I like the past randomizer daily races. But that's gonna do it for us. I'm L5.
I'm
Thank you,
Kavone.
Ramon, for helping commentate. And we're done here. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.